I got the perfect
And
start for
intro.
this. I got the
And go.
perfect. Okay. All right. Yo, yo, yo. You already know it's time to go, go,
hmm
go.
Yes, it
Welcome to the
is.
show. What up, what up, what up, everybody? This is Thinker versus Speaker. I am Marissa the Thinker. And y'all, I couldn't even get the intro right. I'm so excited right now. We got a special guest in the building. We are pulling back the curtain today. We are pulling back the curtain and we are getting into the depths of things. We're going into the retail world a little bit today. So, with that being said, I got my friend Jonathan. Now, when
Hey,
we talk
hey.
about retail, we don't talk about the where, we don't talk about the who, because we know the politics. So, we just going to leave it
hmm
at that. Like, we're going to act like you a special agent and we just going to leave it there.
I'm giving you an in-depth, best scoop there is, inside scoop.
Okay, okay, okay. Like we're gonna get into it. Do you want to introduce yourself a little? Tell the people about yourself before we get too deep into it.
Well, it just took me a nice long bong rip. My name is Jonathan. I am 40 years old. I was born in 1981. And I currently work retail, as she said before. I've worked retail since I was 18. And in between that time, I've done other various jobs, but I've mostly done retail. I like to smoke weed. I like to play games, and I like to, when I can be creative, I like to do freelance, like hair and makeup. As you saw in my Halloween photo,
Oh my god,
that
it
was
was
all me.
amazing. Oh
Yeah, I
really?
did all that. Yep,
Okay, it was on my mind and I didn't ask, but I was just like, that's some
that was
dope.
all me.
Yeah. Okay, you
So
look
like,
good.
well, thank you. And I like, so I like to do stuff like that when I can. But let's be real, it's 2023, almost 2023. I'm also very much been adjusted to just being home. So I like to sit at home.
Very, very fair.
Like, I really think that COVID just screwed everything up for everybody because I used to be a very active person and I just got really accustomed to being in these four walls and I feel safer here.
I feel that. I feel that, but it's actually done the opposite for me. I was a hermit. I grew up a hermit and I liked it. But like now, but during COVID is when I broke my ankle.
Mm.
So after not being not being able to leave the house for COVID, you still gotta go to the store. You still gotta go to the
Right,
grocery
right, right.
store. Still gotta get
But
your
not being
things
able to
delivered.
leave at all.
Just
But just like
period.
being stationary, like, oh, this sucks. That I
Yeah.
could see, yeah, that for sure. Like I had surgery once, and it was the first time I'd had surgery where it completely incapacitated me. I was on the couch for 6 weeks,
Yeah.
and that, yeah, I get you. I feel like that's an experience in itself. It's like, oh, so you just can't do nothing.
Okay, yeah, I went to therapy. I went through a breakup. Like it
Yeah,
was just so now I'm outside. Like now I'm outside.
yes,
Full blown rebirth. Just like
and
you
that's
can't
well,
sit.
and that's the thing is, I'm trying to get out there, but you work retail, and it's like, oh, this is what's out here. I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah. See,
That's
and the uh-huh.
go for it.
Oh, and the other thing about like when you work retail is it's hard to have like work life balance. What? At
There
least
doesn't exist.
it doesn't exist, and it's actually like a thing that gets talked about a lot. At least where I worked at, because I worked retail for 7 years. I worked retail from the time I was 17 to about ooh, shit 17 to 25.
Oh
So
wow.
and I did it from like a baby. I started off as like an associate, and by the time I left I was like could have been almost like, you know what I'm saying. The next step was assistant manager, and it was just like, nope, time to go. Like, I had
Yeah.
got to the point where it was time to go, because it was, for me, it was getting politicky. And
hmm
like they want, how after they want to use you to start getting other people fired and all that kind of stuff. No.
Yep.
No, didn't want
Dropping
to,
names like,
didn't.
well, this person said, oh no, I didn't. No, I
Yeah,
didn't.
yeah, no,
Or
I'm
and then the
not.
worst, it's like, or like there's already a pre-existing issue, and you get brought into being a manager, and
Yeah.
there's pre-existing problems, and it's like, oh, hey, we need you to sit in for this. Why? I just signed up for the role. Like,
I can,
why I have to
okay.
sit in on y'all's beef? You know?
Yo, when I started, right? Oh my God, I'm spilling the tea, y'all. I'm spilling the tea. So when I started, right? Not when I started, when I first became a manager. Now, me becoming a manager was purely ego. Purely ego. There's no other way for me to put it. It had gotten to the point where, like, I was a jack of all trades too. Like, anywhere you put me, I could excel. Like, I was that associate, right?
Same.
Like,
Same.
I was
exactly.
like, there was a star by my name. Like, I was that associate. So
You got all the hours. You were the go-to.
I was that one. I was that one person. So it got to a point where I was also in college though. And I was in college, but I was like doing shitty and just didn't even want to be there anymore. So there was this other girl who was like not the greatest at the job, but she had the best availability. Like, she was not the greatest trainer. Like, she didn't know how to talk to people, but they were prepping her to be a manager because she just had the best availability and she was like half decent. So I didn't like her telling me what to do. So I was just like, you know, if anybody's getting promoted in this bitch, it's gonna be me.
It should be. Well, and you know, it's kind of funny. Let's touch on that real quick. What you just said. It's like in retail, you don't necessarily have to earn the position. It just has to be free. And if you again have the availability, which means if you can be here when we snap our fingers, we'll give you the position. That's how I felt about it.
Yeah.
Like,
if you're
having
like half
an
decent
availability schedule.
Yes.
And that's what, and then that's what they expect from you automatically. Oh, do you have that open availability? Well, no. Okay. Well, you know how much we could do for you if you did.
Right. That's how it's sold.
They leave that sitting over you. They leave that sitting over you every day until you finally like, okay, I got to know what it's like. And, you know, and plus, who doesn't want to be the one telling people what to do?
Mm-hmm. Especially in
like
that environment.
You don't want to be told, especially like you said, you don't want to be told by some person who's lazy. Like, okay, so you just got the position because your availability, you're not telling me what to do, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, because it's just like, if you are my boss, like, there's no way I'm going to be doing what you say. So I might as well just go ahead and step in this position, because it's just like, the people listen to me, they like me, I know what to do, and I for damn sure don't want you telling me what to do. And I got the pull with all these managers, because, you know, when you that star player, you tight with everybody. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to be your best friend because you are the one that's going to do the work for them.
And then whenever the manager, oh, could I have Marissa on my shift? Oh, no, she's going to be on my, like, that's, you know that.
Yes,
like,
they fight over you. They fight over you, genuinely.
But then, but what you don't prepare for, though, is you become a victim of your success.
Yes, you do. You do. Because that's what, you know what I'm saying? They build you up so much. Like, it's such a badge of honor to be that person. It's just like, oh my God, everybody's always telling you how great you're doing. You're always getting the benefits. You're always getting the little gift cards and the little bullshit that they throw your way. You know what I'm saying? To be like, oh, good job. Like, you get those.
Like, you know, here's a free piece. Here's a free piece.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll give you a small piece of the pie.
You know, I will take about a percentage of what I earned for you. So, like, real quick on that, the company I work for, if you make your sales plan, depending on how much you make over sales plan, so the maximum you can, this is the bullshit too, the maximum you can make is 15% over sales plan.
What?
There's been months where I've made like 20%, 30% over sales plan, but the max is 15%. And so how they give you your bonus is you get 15% of your hourly pay times the hours you worked for the month.
What?
That's not the same as what I earned you, people. Like, no,
absolutely not.
Okay, so anyway, so yeah, back to this. So like they literally, I mean, it's almost. I'm not religious, but the manufacturer, however you believe it, but there was literally like the apple, and it was like shoved in your face. Like, they make the apple. Let's go to Snow White. It's beautiful. It's the most shiniest apple. That's management, and I wanted it. I wanted that apple. I wanted to because first of all, literally they praise you all the time. So it's like, okay, well, if they praise me while I'm doing this, now I'm going to be getting the money for it. I can't even imagine the praise that's going to come from it. And then all of a sudden, oh wait, no, there's no praise in this position. And in fact, everyone suddenly everyone you thought was on your side has suddenly turned against you. And it's like, well, when the fuck did this happen?
why do they hate us so much when we transition? Why do they hate us so much when we get the keys? I don't get it.
It's like as soon as you get that, it's like, I guess for me, because I've always worked, for some years I've worked junior retail. And so a lot of the employees are these like 16-year-old kids, their first job, you know, summer job or seasonal job or whatnot. Yeah. And so it's like, y'all are all kind of the same. But it's like the minute you're handed that key, it's like, okay, you're like the principal or you're someone of authority. And it's like, I'm still
like 2 weeks of training.
I just have this, like, I just got a fucking key, guys. Like, it's still me. But then it's like, no, because you tell us what to do. And then, you know, and I oh God, it's happened to me so many times. It's like you have these friends, you have these homies, and you are tight. And okay, yeah, it's okay. We have a great working relationship. Can you do that for me? Yeah, you bet, man. Until that one day when that employee is just not in the mood.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the dynamic changes. And it's like, hey, can you get that? I don't feel like doing it right now. Oh, okay, well, I still have to do it. So I got it, you know, whatever. And then like they're just in a sour mood. And so that one time I was like, hey, you know what? I got you. You have a good day. And I start taking care of everything. And it's like, oh, well, he's got it. Oh, no. And so then you have to have that conversation like, hey, can we do this still? Oh, yeah, it's fine. And then next thing you know, that the grapevine, and then everyone starts hearing about it.
Yep.
And then it just escalates. And it's just like, oh, I heard you said some shit about, I was like, I didn't, what? And then you just feel foolish. And it's like, oh, so I don't feel that great person that I'm now the enemy.
Yep.
And then oh God, like it comes to like making schedules. Hey, can you give me this day off? And you do it one time.
And now every time. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's like, well, and then you try to accommodate everybody because you don't want to be the villain. And it's like at the end of the day, it's particular in other management. I've worked other jobs, like I've said, you can be friends with your managers. But in retail, it's a different kind of beast because
no, you cannot.
Because even so, like at this particular retailer that I work at now, everyone's sales go to the store's total sales. So if we make plan, everybody gets that bonus. Versus, you know, like you get like commission based. Mm-hmm. We don't have that, so it's actually a little bit easier. And so it's like everyone's got the same goal. It's just for us to make plan. Period. At the end. You know what I mean? But I've worked in retailers where it's commission based, and when you put it to a manager position as that, I was a manager and I worked at a commission-based store, and my sales did not count because I was a manager, which I understood, but I got a different kind of percentage bonus.
Right.
One time I was on the floor and I had this huge sale. I rang up the customer, she left. Every single one of those employees was furious with me because not only did I have an entire big sale like that, but no one got any money from it. And so then all of a sudden it's like, well, why is he selling? Why is he even out here? Like, why? I mean, it's up to us. We're the sellers. Like, why is the manager taking our sales? And it's like, I was just doing my job.
Yeah.
They were all with guests. I was the one at the front because managers usually stand at the front to greet the guest. I greeted the guest. We bonded. I helped them.
Yeah.
Like, did we forget what who signs your check? I don't care what retailer you work for. The person that signs your check are the guest, period. Because that's the only reason you have a job is because they come in.
True that. Like, I didn't always follow that philosophy, but yes, true that.
Mm-hmm. Because, like, realistically, like, and that signs the district man, that signs all their checks is the guest. Like, you know, it's kind of weird like that in the sense with like pay, and then the way it's trickled itself down is insane. And then, like how each company, different retailers will like, they're opening a new store 2 stores down from me, and I'm like, again, back to what I was saying, like, do I want to go into more retail, or is it time for me to change career path? I don't know. But anyway, so back when they give you those keys, and you just come into the enemy.
Yeah, you become the enemy. I've never experienced so much pushback in my life. Never experienced so much pushback in my life, and then like when I got that promotion, I had to go to a different store to get it, basically. And they sent me to the worst store that they had. And the reason that they did it is because the store that they went to, it was the worst store that they had, but it was the one that made them the most money. And the one that I worked at was making the least amount of money, and they knew they were going to close it.
So they set
So
you
we-
up for failure.
No, they set me up for success. Everybody that got left behind.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. You got transferred to the other one. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got
Oh, my
transferred to
God.
the one that made money. And like the other people, like, you know what I'm saying? I low key knew, but I couldn't say anything.
Oh my gosh. Like,
And-
I'm
and,
sorry,
like,
that
they
is
did
above
it
your
in a
pay grade
very
to have to deal with
shiesty
that
way.
pressure.
I was on the lowest tier. I was the lowest tier of manager too. So it was just like, you know this information, you should not know this information, so therefore shut the fuck up. Like, it was very
Damn.
much one of those situations, and it was just like I knew the whole play, like how they were gonna play it out. Cause you know, like retail is politicky too at the same time. And
Oh,
retail,
absolutely.
sometimes it's not about like what you know or how you work, it's who you know. And I knew
100%.
who I needed to know.
Mhm.
And I knew what I needed to know. I knew what I needed to know. And you know what I'm saying? To a certain extent, you kind of have to play the game. You do. You have
sure.
to play the game to work up in management, because you know what I'm saying? There's a likability factor to it. You know, people have to like you. People have to, you know, want to
It
to
is
work
it is
Yeah.
a popularity contest,
Absolutely.
you know. And then, you know, sometimes like you get that one guest and it's like they only want to work with you. It's not personal, guys. Like, I didn't do this like like, no, like the guest and I had a connection. It's nothing personal.
Nothing personal. Like, do you think this is what I want to do? Most time people want to just work on shipment and not talk to people.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
I'm from more of a visual background, but I can sell like a mother. I mean, like, I made the top 100 in sales in my company. Like, I know how to sell, but visually, like, that's where I'm at. I'm artistic. I do visuals. And so it's
Ooh,
way
yeah.
easier to just focus on that and create something than have to deal with someone like, oh, y'all don't have this in my size, and I need you to order it. Like, there are bigger problems.
Right.
One of the worst
I need to dust my.
One of
pants.
the worst things I ever heard was right after COVID. They forced us to go back very early before everything had really like taken off. They forced us to go back.
Mhm.
And I get back there, and the first thing this woman says, this is my second day back, she says to me, she's, oh, it's so good to finally be waited on.
Ugh.
And I can honestly say, like, I've worked retail, like I said multiple times, but I've worked retail for 23 years now.
Oof.
Okay.
God bless you.
So for me to have worked it that long, there must have been something I enjoyed about it. Yes, I love clothes. I'm vain.
It's not bad. But
You know,
it's
and yes, there are things that I enjoy, like the atmosphere. Like sometimes during the holidays, when you don't have those crazy people, it can be quite fun.
it is exhilarating.
You know, because it's like, I mean, it's like
It's
Super
so
Bowl.
fast
Like, you get
paced.
ready, like,
You're
and I love
it's
like during the
adrenaline.
holidays, there's like potluck because we're pumped because you're going and going and going. You don't have time. You go back, you
Yeah.
grab a snack, you go back on the floor. Like, I mean, and it's fun.
Black
you don't mind it.
Fridays.
Girl, I love a potluck.
Jeez.
Everyone
Two
brings some
shifts,
food.
one day. You just
Yes.
run into the back, you grabbing some stuff. Like I was when I was a department manager, it's just like I don't even get to talk to people. I just got to get product out. Where's it going? What's gone? Like loved it. Like I love the adrenaline rush of being in that environment. It almost feels like you're
Because-
playing like a sports game. Like you know what I'm
telling
saying?
you, it's like
you're
I
at
call
the
it Super Bowl.
championship. Yeah.
It is ready to go. It is Super Bowl, and what's cool about and to be fair, there are perks to retail. I'm
Yeah.
old and bitter. I'm bitter now because of what it's done to me. But like the time when it's like fun is like when it's an event, it's a thing, like it's something you prepare for, and there's like all this hustle and bustle, and like because there are those days when you're just standing around when guests are being rude, but then there's a day when like everyone's so busy, no one cares, everyone's just happy that they're there.
Yep.
And it's just, and everyone's on that same vibe.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there's no time for anything else.
Yeah.
You know, of course, you have that unruly guest, but then you all bond and you're all partners. Literally become partners in trauma. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It
there's
just-
a whole
you
bunch
all
of
are
trauma
like-
bonding. Just end up
Exactly,
in one
because
place.
they-
Yeah.
Because you know, I've seen, you know, a guest make a girl cry and another employee step up for that guest. You know, and then later on during break time, she was like, "Thank you," and like it was like, "You stood up for me," kind of moment. And it's like, you literally do make friendships and really good ones. And then what sucks though is that you have those, and again, you get those keys, and the friendship suddenly is out the window.
Yeah. Yeah. Very much so.
And
Very
it's-
much so.
And it's disheartening because it's like you know, and then it's like, oh, you know, you have to have a good, you know, work-life balance. That doesn't exist in retail, and people don't understand that. They really don't, you know. And then it was like I was working junior retail whenever we were doing Black Friday on Thanksgiving Day. I had time to take a bite of turkey, and I had to go to work at 5 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah,
because the store opened at 6 o'clock.
At 6,
and I worked and I worked from 6 to 7 the next day. So the next morning I worked 13-hour shift or 12-hour shift.
Yeah,
because we were that busy, and there was a doorbuster, and then like I'm in line and I'm checking customers out, and it's like, oh, so sorry you have to be here. I'm here because of you. Don't apologize to me. I'm here because you are here.
Yeah,
you know,
literally.
and it's like, and people lost that, and it's like, understand this, like, we know, like, I love when people come in and they yell at retail people. It's like, I am bottom tier, my dude. Okay, I did not set up these rules. I did not make these price points. I do not set the sale.
I just work here, yo.
Like, if you think I have anything to do with that, you are really delusional. I mean, in the type of retail store I work in, it's a higher end retail store, and it's known for its tropical vibe. I'll say that. And when I tell you that some of these men that come in, I've never been threatened so many times. I mean, I worked at Ross. I worked at a not so fancy establishment. Okay?
Yeah.
And I have been treated more disrespectfully and been degraded more working in higher end retail than I ever was when I worked in the lower end retail.
That's very true. That's very true. The store that I went to when I got promoted, it was one of those, and it was just like,
it was in a nice area.
What?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
no.
Yes.
Like, oh, Aaron girl, please get that thing for me.
When I walk around my center, it's more of where I work at, my location's not in a mall, it's a lifestyle center, so it's one of those bougie places.
Ooh.
Yeah, like, so, I mean, I kid you not, I am a Latino man. I identify as Latino. But those people in that center look at me funny if I don't have a broom or a leaf blower in my hand.
Wow.
It's like, no, I have keys. I have keys to the store. And, you know, and sometimes when I'm like, I'm the manager, they look at me and they're like,
oh, that's
no,
not
really,
what I expected at all.
No, I had one lady go, no, really, who's the manager? Because I was sitting next to my another associate who happens to be Caucasian.
Wow.
And he's like, he's the manager. She was like, no, really? It's like, yes, it's me. And she looked me dead in my eyes. She goes, I don't think you can help me. And she just turned and walked out. It's like, okay.
Yo. And see, this is exactly why, like, now it kind of has given me perspective, because when you work in retail, there's a lot that you have to take and not react to. You know, like it takes a certain amount of composure that you have to keep when working a customer service job like that. And I don't think that people realize just how much, you know, a retail worker really takes while still being at the bottom. You know what I mean? Because if we're on store level, we don't get shit for real. Like, you don't get nothing working store level. Now, once you start getting out the stores, maybe.
Yeah.
Just maybe.
That's a hard maybe.
That's a hard maybe. Now, you know what I'm saying? Once you get out the districts to the regions, then you might be talking about something. But, like, you know, like...
No, the money is corporate. Yeah, that's where the money's at.
You know.
I actually interviewed for corporate. They requested me for a visual position, and I'm a manager. I'm not a visual, but I interviewed for a visual for like corporate to like do the visuals for the company. Mm-hmm. And tell me why. Oh, girl, tell me why. When we have the interview, well, first and foremost, the head of visual, she wanted to see my store and my take on it, because, you know, not all things are the same. And so she wanted to see my store. I walked her through it, and as we're going through it, I'm telling her, like, in a window, usually in storefronts, if there's like the bars that are in between the glass, the technical term for those are called mullions. And so I was like, do we pretend like these mullions are here? Do we pretend like they're not here? She's like, what is that word you keep saying? And I was like, that's what this is. She's like, oh, I can see her, because we're FaceTiming and I can see her writing it down. And then we have these specific shelves, and it's a French word. It's called an étagère. And the way it's spelled is étagère. And she kept saying étagère, and I kept correcting her to étagère. And she was like, oh, okay. So she's writing this down. So then let's fast forward to my interview. We go through the interview, and I said something to her, and she's like, oh my God, that is the most amazing thing I've ever heard. And, you know, I still have my quotes from shit I've seen, whatever. But I said to her, I go, you build a team so strong that you don't know who the manager is.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And so, and I do believe in that. I believe in developing a team, because whether they're in it for the long haul or not, and whether or not I'm starting to be disenchanted with my job, I still have a job to do.
Yeah.
To be clear, I loathe my job right now, but they pay the bills. I'm grateful and blessed for it. So I will continue to do my job and earn my pay. Like I will say that directly. Like, and know that too, that like there are some people out there, and I think people also don't understand, there are some people who chose this career, who love it that much.
Yeah.
You know, there are career waitresses out there, there are career bartenders, there are career retailers. You know, did I think this is where I'd be? No.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd also thought I'd have a yacht by now and, you know, whatever, but you know, things happen differently. I'm just kidding. So, but
there's still time.
So, you know, literally,
never give up on your dreams.
Vera Wang did not start designing her first dress until she was 40 years old. You know, so like people, designers and stuff like that, they begin late in their career. Like anyone's life can begin whenever they wanted to.
You know what? I think
so that's why
they get to a point like this, and it's just like,
that's why,
all right now. Mm-hmm. All right.
Yep. Like that's why I've been feeling so empowered lately. I'm like, and so this company just keeps, you know, exploiting us and just adding more and more on. And so, when I asked for more money in my letter, I'm like, nowhere in my job description, and I posted and I tacked on my job description, I tacked it to the email. Nowhere in my job description does it say I have to do this. That I have to do this. And I have like 10 things that my job description does not say I have to do, that they demand that I do. So if I'm doing this, you need to pay me. Like, you ask for me to jump through these hoops. You ask me to juggle these balls. You asked me to jump through over a lake of fire. I've done all those things. Where are you at? It is time for you to deliver. And I think, you know what? I'm going to take advantage of 2022 and this woke nation or whatever. I will read your ass and have you canceled.
Well, okay. Because it happens too.
That's how far done I am.
They will... I feel you. I definitely feel you. They will stretch that shit out as far as you as you let them take it, honestly. Because I had to leave. The company that I worked for, I had to leave because they played me. Like, they played me.
Can I ask you this? Can I ask you this now that you, like, was there a absolute relief taken off of you when you finally left? Like, did you feel relief? Like, you're like, oh God, I'm so, like, do you look back at it now and like look at where you're at now? Like, I'm glad I'm not there.
Both, yeah, for both times that I quit, absolutely.
So that's what I feel like. Like, I feel like that's waiting on me. I'm like, I'm on the cusp of greatness, and I should do it.
I danced out the second time. I hated those people.
You danced out.
I hated those people. I did not like it. That's when I moved to Texas. And like, the store was just dysfunctional. It was dysfunctional. It was dysfunctional. And I was like the one person that actually knew what I was doing, because you remember that store that I told you about that they transferred me to? So this is how they played me. We not only cleaned the store up, we got a new management team. And like, granted, like the kudos really goes to the new GM that they brought up in there. But he trained a good ass team that therefore trained a good ass team. So like, we got a whole new staff, made them an extra $1 million, got a remodel, got through the remodel, made another $1 million after that remodel. But see, the thing was, I was like a junior level manager when they were like, all right, make us this extra $1 million and then we'll get to the next store tier. Your position automatically becomes ASM level. And you know what I'm saying? Once we get this store change, it'll automatically become ASM level, and y'all will get this remodel. So when I say we do that work and we get that million, and it's time comes for the positions to change, that's when they hit me with the, well, you're still young and you got promoted really fast. So we just think it's better given to somebody who's been here longer.
What?
And yeah, and we're gonna keep you at the same level in a different position that's shittier. So I quit. Because I had a different offer in a different place. So I quit. Like somebody literally had reached out to me like, hey, like like one of my old managers reached out to me like, hey, like I run this new store now, like this is the money that we can get you. The job is like way less intensive, like, and we can like match your pay. It's just like, oh, so here you come with this offer and they just fucked me? Absolutely.
And did they live up to it?
Did they live up to what?
What they said? Did they, keep their word and, commit to what they said they were going to give you?
Yeah, they did. They did. I didn't have to take a pay cut to go there. And like literally like when I was quitting, it was just like, no, like everybody was shocked because it was just like, we thought you were gonna take this. Like we thought you were gonna take this. And it's just like, fuck no. Like you had me work my ass off. Like, you know what I'm saying? No life, working like 60-hour weeks, you know what I'm saying? Turning a whole store around, your whole establishment. And then you want to give me some bullshit, you know what I'm saying? So you can put somebody else in here just because they've been here longer. I know the staff. I know how to schedule them. Like, I know all of this shit. But you don't want me in that position at 23?
Like, then when? And age doesn't mean shit.
It doesn't. I had a whole, like, dude, I had an award from the CEO of the company because of some shit that I said in a meeting.
Mm-hmm.
But they wanted somebody with more experience. And then they were shocked when I'm just like,
oh yeah,
fuck it.
I love it when
Fuck
they're
y'all.
shocked. Like, we don't understand. What do you mean you don't? Yes, you do.
You
Don't.
do.
I don't understand. I mean, like, is there anything we could do? No. I gave
Yeah,
you an
they're like,
opportunity.
we'll give you whatever money. We'll give you whatever money you want.
Nope.
We'll give you whatever position you want. Do you want to go to another store? I'm like, nah, I want that position that y'all said I couldn't have.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, bye.
So the reason I asked about if the other place kept up with their word, because let me tell you this. Okay, so I was working as a visual merchandiser for a job for a retailer, also higher end, but it was a women's retail store specifically. They only sold women's clothes.
Yeah.
And so I was a visual for there, and then for many years, I started out at the bottom. I started out of the 46 visuals that there were, I was ranked 46. I was really, really bad. By the time I left the company, I was the number 2 visual.
Ooh.
And yeah, so like, I mean, I was there and I was doing really well, and they were going to open this new center, which is actually the center I'm in now, but a different store I was at the time. They were opening this new center, and they were opening up this other women's retailer that's even higher end. And I was like, oh, that's cool, blah, blah, blah. Didn't think nothing of it. Well, then the retailer that I worked for had like sister stores as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were all in conjunction. And so manager from one of our sister stores came over, and I had helped her and her mother with some stuff because they were guests at the time. And she was like, I really like the way you work. You're really quick and stuff like that. She goes, hey, listen, I just got hired on as a manager for the new store at blah, blah, blah center. I would love for you to come work for me. You should interview. So she gives me her card and she leaves. Okay. She poached me. First of all, I'm just gonna say that she poached me 100%.
Yeah.
So I go.
That happens.
I go for the interview. Now, mind you, when I'm working at, this is what's gonna shock you. I was working this retail store. I worked Monday through Friday.
What?
And I worked from 8 to 4.
You're lying.
I'm not even kidding.
That's
For
not
5
even
years.
realistic.
I worked a retail job where I worked Monday through Friday, 8 to 4.
They must have really fucking liked you, because that doesn't happen.
I had every
That does
weekend
not
off.
happen.
The only time I was not allowed off was on a Sunday, and that's whenever we did like the resets, the floor resets was on Sundays.
Yeah.
I had to work one Sunday a month. But I was off all the time.
Wow.
So when we go for the interview, I tell her everything. She's like, I got you, and I'll pay you more. I'm like, how much more? She's like, well, only I can do right now is an extra $1, but I can do that for you. I'm like, same schedule? She's absolutely. Doing visuals? Absolutely. Yeah, great, thank you. I accept. I was excited. I mean, like, I was like, oh, and we, as far as uniform goes, we pay for a uniform. I'm like, well, I can't wear the uniform from those. She's like, oh no, we give you a credit card and you have a list of stuff you have to buy. So you get your own fancy uniform, you get a suit, you get all this stuff. I was like, oh my gosh, like, okay, like it's official. Like I'm moving on up there.
Uh-huh.
So I am bragging about it and I'm ready to go. And when I tell you the first time we toured the building, this place is laid in gold.
What?
Plated, of course. Like the whole place is gold. The shelves are gold. The flooring's marble, and but everything's gold. And I was like, okay, loved it. I mean, it was bougie, girl. I'm telling you, I was bougie. And so like, for me,
now. Yeah.
And then what she was like, she goes, this is gonna look great on a resume. So I was like, she's right. Like, okay, I can up my. I mean, again, they fucking sell you on it.
They do.
Except the job.
But I mean, this is what we do, right? Oh my god.
Yep.
I just sell you a false ass dream. Yeah. Damn.
And so I took it. Within a week, I called my store manager at the previous store, crying, asking for my position back. She goes, if you'd called me yesterday, I could have, but I just filled it. She goes, there's nothing I can do for you. And yeah, it was literally a living nightmare. She lied about everything. It became very apparent on the third day of my job with the new company that manager built her career on the backs of everyone else.
What?
She didn't even know how to answer, like, check this shit out. She would have conference calls. She would have it on speakerphone, but she would be holding the phone to her ear.
Huh?
Yeah, like she didn't know how. She did not know how to run the cash registers. She did not know. I don't know how this woman was put in charge of this store. But
oh my god, it happened.
But I found out that she, as long as the store's making money, they don't care about the individuals making the money. They just care about the HBIC, the head bitch in charge, and she's bossing them around. So if she's able to keep these people selling and bringing in that money, well, then she's doing something right. So let's just keep promoting her. But like in the reality of it, she did not even know how to do that job. I have no idea how she was. Like, she couldn't even send out a fucking email. Jonathan, how do I send out the email? You hit send.
Some of these people are truly incompetent. Like, some of these people are truly incompetent.
And so, guess who worked Monday through Friday, 8 to 3?
Of course, it was her.
It definitely was not me. I would get there before her, and I would leave after her. And so this place was, okay, so this place is bougie. I have small tattoos on my arms. They're nothing big, and they're nothing grotesque or whatever. It's like my zodiac sign and some braille and, some shit. Small things. I had to wear makeup to cover them if I had to walk on the sales floor. Because it turns out I wasn't actually the visual, I was the stock guy.
What?
And I had to do shipment. And whenever it came time for visuals, those days were extra busy because I was extra busy in the back unpacking all the shit.
Yeah, and then you had to put it out.
Oh no, I didn't get to put it out because that was up to the other girl who really liked doing visuals, so she let her do it instead.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, hell nah. Hell no. You remember that job that I said was shitty? It was shipment. Who wants to run shipment? I know very few people that actually want to run shipment, especially if you are a merchandiser. No. And I was a merchant. Like, when I came back, it was as a merchandiser, and it was just like, no, like, I'll help y'all unpack the truck, but I want to do my merch. I want to do my visuals. Like, I want to do my floor work.
So, like, I would go out there and I would see them and I'd, like, start, like, moving things around. And then she'd be like, what are you doing out here? I'm like, I just want to see what the cool kids are doing. But like, yeah, she kept me in the back, and so you did get and then when it came time for getting uniform, she goes, "Oh, Jonathan, you don't need a suit." I'm like, "Well, why wouldn't I need a suit if we're gonna have like corporate visits and stuff like that?" She goes, "Oh, well, when stock people don't really," and I was like, "Wait, what do you mean stock people?" And then it became very apparent that she lied.
Wow.
And it just got progressively worse and worse and worse. And like, I kept telling myself that I was going to actually, can you still see your phone?
Yeah.
Because I am going to text you a picture, and you're going to see who's. Look, I want to point out what's in the front and what's in the back.
Okay.
Here we go. So this was the grand opening, and this was the first day, and so like I said, I didn't get to do very many visual things because I was built for hard labor, apparently. And
they
so
treat you like workhorses. It's terrible.
Well, for me, and I'm a bigger dude. I'm built like a brick shit house.
That really is covered in gold.
Mm-hmm. And who's standing in the back?
We see it's you.
Mm-hmm. And who else? You see the other two people standing in the back?
2 of y'all. 3 of y'all in a cluster. Oh my God.
All the way in the back. And do you notice what color hair everyone has in the front?
Oh yeah, we're all blondies.
Mm-hmm.
We're all blondies, and put the 3 colors in the back.
Literally, tell me that doesn't let's put the help in the back.
Yeah, in front of all this gold and chandeliers.
But let me tell you,
put the maids in the back.
Girl, let me tell you, if they didn't make me feel like I was just as important as the rest of them. Jonathan, they need some champagne. Could you go get that?
Y'all
sure.
get champagne?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is bougie. Oh, this is bougie. Yeah, okay, this is real life.
If the guests get champagne, if they bring in their husbands, we have beer, Coronas, and Dulcetes for the husbands. And then there's Coke, Diet Coke, and Sprite as well. Yeah.
So how'd you get out of that place?
Another retailer right down the road in the same center was offering a manager position, double the money, not double, but like more money, and a looser schedule, a freer schedule. So I jumped on that, and I went down there, and I found out really quickly on that was also a terrible mistake, because I should have known it was a mistake when they charged me from my account to send me my direct deposit.
Huh?
They would charge me, because they had my account information for my direct deposit, they would pull $12 out of my account to direct deposit my money.
That doesn't even make sense.
Okay, so then the $12 they took out, they would put back on the next check.
That's weird.
Because as a reimbursement. But by the end of when I actually left the job, I didn't get a check after that to get reimbursed. And do you think they sent me my $12? No. It's $12, whatever. But the point being is
the principle.
The principle is, why are you charging me to send me my earned money?
That doesn't make sense. It genuinely does not make sense.
So it was funny, the retail that I worked at with the gold and everything.
Are they saying that they literally are so cheap that they will not pay the bank fees, and they therefore transfer the bank fees to the employees? That's what that sounds like.
That's exactly what they did. But we'll get back to that because that company no longer exists. Anyway, so at the other place with the Gold Palace and everything like that, they were we talking about checks?
We were, yeah.
I'm sorry, the weed just kicked in. So, it just slapped me in the face. No, so at the other place, like I said, I was working X amount of hours. So whenever we had our training, they rented out this fancy hotel, boardroom, and we had a week and a half of training in there, and then before we went to actually deliver the truck and stuff like that. And so during the training, the district manager, she's like, it's going to get chaotic. It's going to get really busy, but it's going to be days where they're going to be slow. She's like, but just give it a year. Everybody just give it a year. And at the end of the year, if you really aren't happy, she goes, let's talk about it. We want to make sure that y'all know that, it's going to work and we're going to be great. And y'all, I think this team's going to do well and blah, 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 blah. Just give it a year.
It's that story.
And that photo that I showed you, 2 people have made it the year. Everyone else quit 3 to 4 months after the store opened.
Oh, wow. It hadn't even opened yet. Oh, God.
No, it opened. We were open for business, and I didn't even make it to Christmas. One of my other friends,
it hadn't opened yet, like in the course of y'all getting there. Yeah.
Yeah, like we had like some good sales. I'm like, we didn't even know because we all quit. It was terrible. I mean, like the guests were just a nightmare. And then of course the boss, like everyone had just had their fill of her. They were like, you're fucking terrible and stupid. There was this one girl, oh my gosh, she was going to school, she was in college, so she was trying to be a first grade teacher. And she was so frustrated with the guests and with the manager. Oh, that poor little girl. She was one of the little blondes. She looked at our boss and she was like, you're just so stupid. She's like, I don't understand. Like, you're just so stupid. Like, I'm trying to work with kids and they're smarter than you.
Oh,
shit.
And
she was like crying. She's like, I can't. She's like, you're just stupid. And she's like, okay, you can go. She's like, oh, I'm gonna leave. She goes, I quit. And before I go, I need you to know that you are absolutely stupid. And she like got up and like she went and changed out of her wardrobe. And she's like, oh my God, I don't have to wear this ever again. And then she just like came by. She said bye to everybody. She's like, guys, she's so stupid. And like, she just left. And then that was the start of it. And then slowly after, everyone was just like, God, you are dumb. And we would just leave. And so that's that. I walked out of that job, took 3 weeks off and started the other one. But yeah, I was like, you're kind of dumb and you lied about everything you said you were going to help me with. You have been the most horrible person and I don't want to work for you anymore. So I'm going to go and you can work by yourself. And I left. I left her alone in the store.
Wow.
I've always tried to be one of those people that puts in a 2-week notice, and I've always tried to be, but you know how it is. There's just times where it's like, okay, no, y'all don't even deserve that respect from me. Like, we're just done.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if anybody's gonna quit on you like right on the spot, it's gonna be in retail. It's probably either fast food or retail that people will quit on you on the spot. It's just something to get used to. But on a different note, to kind of like lighten it up a little bit.
Yeah, let's lighten it up.
I was thinking the other day about like a lot of the like life skills and like real genuine like managerial skills, like when it comes to like hiring, learning how to run numbers, you know what I'm saying, learning the merchandise, like all of those things, like all of these like unique skills themselves that I got from retail. And I was just 100%. Like, yo, that's kind of cool.
Well, I can tell you what though, my partner really loves when I do the laundry because I can get in and out of that. I could do 5 baskets of laundry. He's like, how do you fold that so quick? I've been doing this for 20 years. I can fold. You don't even know. And to be truth be told, my closet is color coordinated.
Same.
Immaculate. I shirt fold and board fold all my shirts. All my shirts are board folded. All my jeans are flat and folded up in the I do. There were parts of retail that I enjoyed. I loved. Part of the selling part I love is when someone comes in and they're all, brokenhearted or whatever, and then it's like, let's put something together for you. And then they like, I want to wear this out. Like to watch someone's, demeanor change just by an outfit, and like to know that I created that, I helped them with that.
Yeah, that was always the better.
You really do. That was the best part of it. Like, and so for me, with my visual and coloristic background and everything, artistic background, you know what? You should get some caramel highlights that would really brighten up your face. And you've got these beautiful eyes. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. And then they come in like 2 weeks later, like, huh? And they got their hair done, and they're like, and so it's like, I did that, and like they took it with them. That is one of the greatest things about retail, is when you get to make someone's day, or whenever that one person comes in and it's they're shopping for a funeral. Those are terrible, but like you really get to help them through something. Like there's moments about retail that are so great, or whenever it's like I've been looking everywhere for this and I can't find it, and it's they're panicky but they're sweet about it, not demanding. When they're sweet about it, like I would really like this, and you can help them. And I love that. Like, I love that I can make people's day, or when someone's been told no and I can just say yes. Yeah, that's a power that you're able to wield. That's also really fun. But it's like these people will come in. It's like, don't come in here with an attitude yelling at me, and then
I'll give you whatever you want if you're nice. Yeah.
Exactly. That's the thing, because I don't think a lot of people realize. If you
fuck with me, I just might tell you no.
Like, just because corporate office tells all the employees customers come first, every employee in retail knows that the customer is always right is an outdated policy.
It is.
And people, I really want people to be careful, because you're going to catch a retail associate on a bad day, and you're going to get a tongue lashing, and then you're going to act surprised.
They don't get paid enough.
Yep, and you're going to act surprised and make them the victim. But you have to understand is they have put up with so much stuff for you, and it's something personal, really. But I mean, yeah, it is kind of. But like, you just caught them on the bad day, and it's like, I don't think people understand the amount of abuse that retailer employees go through on a daily basis, whether it be not only from the company, but from the guests as well. And so it's like they're beaten down, like they're just there, like just say, hey, you know what? Take your time.
Right. And they don't.
No, I was just like, there was one time I was frantic. One of my employees called out. I had to go in by myself. And like whenever you're asleep and you get called into work, it takes you a little bit longer to get back to basically wake up, because now you have to adjust, because you were adjusted to have that day off.
Yeah.
But here you are showing up, even though you didn't need to. You could have just not answered your phone, but because for some fucking reason you have loyalty to this place.
Yep.
And you don't want to let them down, and people like you, so it's like, fuck it, I'll go in, whatever.
Yeah,
and then will they offer to give you that extra day off? No. No, they won't. No. But you do it. So like, I just got into work and I was kind of frantic, and then I was like, ma'am, I'm really sorry, but like, I'm having a problem. She's like, honey, how about this? I'm gonna go get a coffee, and I'll come back. I'll give you some time to get ready. She goes, what do you want? I go, I'm sorry? She goes, I'll get you a coffee. What do you want? I was like, I would love Americano right now. She goes, venti? I go, yes, ma'am. Iced? Yes, ma'am. She goes, I'll be right back. She left. She gave me opportunity to get myself together, compose myself, get my registers open. Like, and she came back in with her coffee. She goes, okay, let's do this. Like, sometimes you get those people that are amazing that'll understand, but then, and I just wish there were more of those. It would make the job that much more easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like because just like the understanding, like, you know what? I understand that you're here to help me. That's all it is. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a give and a take. You know what I'm saying? There's a give and a take. Like you even alluded to it earlier, where it's just like, there is no work-life balance here. You know what I'm saying? You might have an off day and you get called in and there is no off day, and you don't get back-to-back off days. That's rare. You know what I'm saying? Your off day might be like a Monday and a Wednesday, or a Tuesday and a Thursday, or, just something
My
weird.
favorite is when it's a Monday and Friday.
Those suck. Those genuinely suck. And Sundays just suck, period. But like, but it's just like, there's no balance, and it's just like, you're literally, you have one day to figure your life out, and then you have to go for another couple of days, and you have another day to figure your life out. And it's just like, and you work odd hours. It's like one day you might work 12 to 9, another day you might work 5 to 2, another day you might work 9 to 5. There's no telling. It's like your schedule's all over the place. You can't really find balance in that.
And these younger people who are wanting to be managers, like, oh, I don't want to close and then open. Well, too damn bad. Yeah. If that's what the schedule is, that's what we have to do. Like, we all have to do it. But, it does suck when you have to close at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock during holiday, midnight, and then your ass has to be up there at 7 o'clock to open the store.
Yeah.
because it's holiday and, extended hours. And so you got to open the store at 7 to be open by 8. And it's like, and
Nah, I usually don't do this, but how y'all liking this episode? Yeah, man. Thank you, Jonathan, for coming through. If y'all want to find the rest of this episode, stay tuned. We got part 2 coming to you. I might drop it on a special day. Stay tuned. Make sure you stay tuned. If you want to find more Thinker versus Speaker, you can follow me, Marissa the Thinker, at MarissaY17 on Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitter when I feel like it, but I never really feel like it, and Marissa Yarbrough on Facebook. And if you're looking for more Thinker versus Speaker on your social media, you can find us at Thinker versus Speaker on Instagram and Facebook, and Thinker versus Speaker Official on TikTok. I hope y'all been enjoying this new style of episode. I hope y'all have been enjoying the changes, the new special guest. I want to thank everybody who has been on this podcast. Kay, Tiff, my dad, my uncle, Dre, Danny, I hope Brianna, like everybody that came through, like I want to give everybody a special thanks. Like y'all are helping make New Thinker versus Speaker what it is, and I appreciate you, Jonathan. Special thank you to you. Can't wait to get part 2 of your episode out and up soon. We gonna keep talking about our stories, our retail life. Next episode we're kind of gonna get into a little bit of like why people aren't really working. What skills are we actually getting from retail? Like, we gonna keep digging into things a little bit. And yeah, on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all go. I hope y'all having a happy Friday, and I'm gonna see y'all again soon. All right, later, y'all.